Okay, so the rest of them, we have that list from here essentially before. Concrete floor, column, etc. So I'm going to go back here and say, I'm going to go into manual mode, and I'm going to duplicate this 6 times. So Control C, Control V, and you'll see it's going to, even in manual mode, it's going to take a moment because there's so many internal nodes with the RBD material fracture that it takes a minute to do each time. So I'm going to do this 6 times, 5 for the concretes, 1 for the glass. So close to being, should I stop the record for a minute or do I keep going? Because we only have 1 more to do. And anyway, we're done. So I'm going to put our glass one over here. So let's name them the right thing. So we have wall big. We might as well do wall small. It's like a Dr. Seuss book. Wall big and wall small. Went to the wall tall. This should be wall front. I believe that's what we called it. It is. This one should be wall nothing. It should just be column. Like Gollum. And this should be ground, I think it was. Can you tell I'm losing my mind? I'm starting to. Oh, see? Got it wrong. Floor. And then this is not concrete at all. This is glass window. So let's go through these. Obviously we did this one already. Let's go through these one by one and make the little tweaks that each one requires. So wall small, if we start up here, wall small at the very least needs the outside updated. So again, click this, and just click on the big faces pretty much. So those 2. Make sure that there's only 2 there. And then we want to update the grid to be in the right spot. So right now it's in the YZ, so change this to the other Y one, which is XY. Does it need anything else? Probably not. We can save this now or we can wait. We're going to save them all en masse in a moment. But just for the sake of argument, I'll do this one so you can see that it worked roughly the same way as we saw before. Awesome. So wall small is in the bag. Wall front will need this. Oh, go to hide other objects. I want to see that. So what's outside? Well, this big thing here and this big thing. Press enter, make sure there's only 2. It says 4 to 5, but it is the same as saying 4 and 5, of course. The grid here is already aligned correctly. However, this one we definitely need to look at. It will almost certainly fail because of those holes in the middle. And sure enough, it did. We can actually also see those polylines being created that I was talking to you about before. And you didn't believe me, but there they are. That'll show you for not believing me. What we need to do is put a divide first before this happens. In fact, let's just do it here after our groups. What divide will do, will not subdivide in a like quadrilateral sense or 4 polygons from 1 square. It will simply take anything that's not already a triangular polygon, it will break it down into triangles. And by doing that, we kind of make this into normal geometry instead of this weird kind of geometry we have right now. So there, just mainstream it, and now everything else really should work. Here's hoping anyway. And there you go. Nice. So I don't see any polylines this time, but you never know. It could happen still on higher resolutions or, when we change the piece version later on. So again, I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to move on. We're going to save them all at the end. Oh, that's wall front again. So column is an interesting case. If we look at this, we want the outside to be, all 4 of these things. So 0 to 3 is 4 of them. And I actually don't want to do this thing at all because I don't want it to be biased fractures in any one direction. I just want it to be a regular column that's, kind of the same on all sides. So it looks like that. That's cool. What else we got? We got the floor. The floor is going to need this. So the top and the bottom. We need this to be aligned, ZX. We'll look at it and make sure. See, once we look at this to make sure it's working at all, we can be confident that changing, the amount of fracture will work. And then finally, the glass window has a few special cases. For one, we're not going to do a different material on the inside or outside, so let's just turn that off entirely. We're also not going to fracture the glass with this grid. We just needed to do a fracture. We're not going to have 2 layers of glass in one window. We can also actually change it from concrete to glass. Might as well, right? Now this glass pattern is more of a trauma, like somebody hit it with a rock or shot it with a gun. It's not really what's happening here, but it will definitely feel like glass with these shapes, so I'm going to keep it anyway. There's lots of glass stuff you can look at in terms of the radial crack numbers and variance, and again the detail like before. Let's just keep it as the defaults for now for this lesson. If you want to change yours later when you redo the lesson or do your own project, so be it. But again, for the sake of argument, let's just keep it as is. So we did it. We got it through all of them.